I know many of you struggle with getting a nice loose background, and you're really afraid of working with watercolors. So here's just a few tips on a way I've found to get a wonderful loose background and play with watercolors. So what I have here are some very simple things. This is a piece of plexiglass, and I know you may not be able to see this, but it's just been lightly sanded with an electric sander, just to give it just a little bit of tooth. Otherwise it's too repellent for the watercolor. And then I have my watercolors here. Now I have a large watercolor palette, but if you've just got 2 or 3 colors of watercolor, this will work just fine. Squeeze them out on a styrofoam plate, whatever you have. And then I have a brush that'll hold a lot of water. It's generally referred to as a mop brush, but again, you can use a house painting brush, anything that you've got that'll transfer a lot of paint in a hurry. So I'm just going to wet my brush, and I am going to take some colors that are appealing to me today. I'm going to start with a little bit turquoise, and I'm just going to loosely put that down on the plate. No plan. I just really let the watercolor do its own thing. And I'm going to throw in some bright fuchsias. So my watercolors stay on this palette all the time, and when they dry out, I put the lid on, and then when I'm ready to use them, I just use a cheap plant mister from the dollar store to squirt them about 5 or so minutes before I'm ready to work, and then they're ready to go. And I think this might need a little bit of green. So I'm going to put that in here. And I've got lots of water on there. That's sort of helps things swirl around, and I can see there's some interesting patterns starting to develop here. I'm going to put a little bit of a yellow in here. Sort of an Indian yellow. You've got to be careful with yellows if you've got purple on your board, because they make this awful muddy color of brown. So I'm keeping them well away from those areas, but it just needed a bit of life. So I'm all set. Now I'm going to be using Arch watercolor paper smooth today, because that's one of the things I really like to work on and tangle on and do calligraphy on. And I've got this set up. I'm going to print it off, and then I'm going to add some more paint, and I'm going to print on some oriental paper so you can see the difference in how it absorbs. So first step, make a little belly in your paper. You drop the belly in the middle and the ends down, and I'm just going to gently pat it just for a minute so it absorbs paint, and pull that off. And there I have my really nice loose background. Now if you look here at the plate, you'll see there's still a lot of color left. I could clean that off easily. It's watercolor. I could just rinse it off in the sink. But I'm actually going to move those colors around. There's enough color left in there that I can work with. And I am going to add lots more of that turquoise in here. Now you can see on this second one, the colors do mix a fair bit, and you can get a lot of muddiness. So just if that's not what you want, wash it off. Oh, there's some nice color there. And that's looking really good. And I'm just going to tilt that a little bit so I can get a little bit of running and mixing happening there on the plate. And I'm going to drop the belly in here. This is a form of monoprinting, certainly not as controlled as the types that professional printmakers do, where they do a pattern and let it dry and then use wet paper to pull it off. But this is a form of monoprinting, and you could take a second print off of many of these, which would be called a ghost print. And I'm actually going to print this one both sides, because in bookbinding I often need paper that's been decorated on both sides. Now you can see I got a bubble here, and that's actually going to stay white there, and that might be an interesting effect. Give you sort of a white space to work into with your design. But if you don't like it bubbled as much, it's only because the paper's wet now. Got less control, but you can see I've got lots of interesting bubbles happening. And when I pull that off, I'm just going to lay it here on the plastic to dry. In a few minutes I'll flip it over and just keep doing that until it dries. It doesn't take very long to dry. So that's just a really quick demonstration for you of a really wet on wet monoprinting technique for getting a very loose, gentle background with watercolors.